Riding an e-bike in California isn't something you can just do however you want. You've got sleek city commuters, tough EMTB, and even cargo haulers that can carry your groceries and your kids all at once. It's okay to have any of them, but you have to know a full page of regulations before taking them on the roads. And more specifically, if you have a fascination with that big 750 watts tag for your e-bike, you better watch this video till the end, because today we're simply breaking down whether you can legally ride an e-bike over 750 watts in California. Well, California was actually one of the first states to clearly lay out e-bike laws. They didn't just lump every electric-powered bike into the same category. They created a three-class system that keeps everything organized and safe. Class 1 e-bikes are your traditional pedal assist bikes. The motor only helps you when you're pedaling, and the moment you hit 20 miles per hour. These are perfect for casual rides, bike lanes, and general city commuting. Then comes Class 2, which adds a throttle. It means you can ride without pedaling, still capped at 20 miles per hour. It's a great option for those who like a little extra help now and then. And finally, there's Class 3, which is the faster bunch. These bikes use pedal assist to push you up to 28 miles per hour, though any throttle function still cuts off at 20. Now, all three of these classes share one big common rule. None of them can exceed 750 watts of motor power. That's the ceiling. The moment your e-bike's motor pushes beyond that limit, it doesn't fit into any of these classes anymore. Legally speaking, it transforms into something completely different, a motor-driven cycle. Now, before we discuss what happens when you go over that limit, let's first understand what wattage really means. When we say an e-bike has a 750-watt motor, we're basically talking about how much power it can deliver. The higher the wattage, the stronger your bike feels. It accelerates faster, climbs steep hills more easily, and carries heavier loads without breaking a sweat. So, a 750-watt e-bike isn't some weak little commuter toy. It's already got enough punch to handle serious rides. But once you start going beyond that, like the 1,000-watt or 1,500-watt, you're no longer in casual e-bike land. You're crossing into motorcycle-level power. That's exactly why California draws a clear line at 750 watts. Now, let's talk about the part that brought you this far into the video. What actually happens when you go beyond the 750-watt limit? So, once your e-bike's motor exceeds 750 watts, California law no longer treats it as a regular e-bike. It becomes a motor-driven cycle, or moped, and that classification changes everything. Suddenly, you're no longer just a cyclist enjoying a powered ride. You're a motor vehicle operator in the eyes of the law. That means you'll need to register your vehicle, get a license plate, and even hold a motorcycle license to legally ride it on public roads. You'll also need to follow the same rules that apply to motorcycles, including insurance and safety requirements like mirrors, turn signals, and proper lighting. So even if you've bought a powerful 1,000 or 1,200-watt e-bike online, it's not automatically street legal in California. On paper, you're riding a motor vehicle, not just a random e-bike. And that means if you're caught using it on public roads or bike paths without registration or the right license, you could end up with fines, your bike could be impounded, and you might even face liability issues if an accident occurs. Now, the helmets. Because California takes that seriously too. Helmet rules actually depend on your e-bike class and your age. For Class 1 and Class 2 riders, if you're under 18, you're required to wear a helmet. If you're an adult, the law doesn't force you to, but it's still a smart choice. Meanwhile, for Class 3 riders, it's mandatory for everyone, no matter their age. And honestly, that makes sense. When you're riding faster bikes, especially something that can reach 28 miles per hour or more, you're facing speeds that can cause real damage in a crash. So even though you might legally get away without one on lower classes, wearing a helmet is just common sense. After all, no one ever regrets wearing a helmet, only not wearing one. Now, what if you decide to push your luck and ride a high-wattage e-bike on public roads anyway? Well, California doesn't take that lightly. If you're caught riding something over 750 watts without proper licensing or registration, You can face fines, and your e-bike might even get impounded. And if you're involved in an accident, it could get worse. You might be held fully responsible because your vehicle isn't classified or insured properly. Besides the legal side, there's also the practical risk. Bike lanes, trails, and shared paths are designed for bicycles and standard e-bikes, not machines that can hit 35 or 40 miles per hour. Bringing that kind of power into a bike path not only puts you at risk but also endangers others. So while high wattage sounds exciting on paper, it's worth remembering that it changes how, where, and even if you can ride legally. However, what will you do if you already own an e-bike that's over 750 watts? You still have options. You just need to be smart about where you use it. Public roads and bike lanes might be off-limits, but you can still ride it freely on private properties, off-road tracks, and in certain recreational or commercial areas where higher power e-bikes are allowed. Some riders also use them on private trails or for specific purposes like cargo hauling, security patrols, or farm use. The key is always checking local laws first, because certain counties or parks may have their own restrictions. California is a big state, and not every region enforces these rules in the exact same way. Now, here's where it gets a bit flexible. While the 750 watt limit is the general rule, there are some special cases where higher wattage can be allowed. For example, electric cargo bikes, the ones built to carry heavy loads or commercial goods, sometimes operate with more powerful motors, especially in delivery or utility settings. These aren't treated like personal recreation bikes. They're part of a business operation. Some commercial use e-bikes or industrial e-vehicles may also be granted exemptions under local regulations. But those are very specific cases, and they often require documentation or pre-approval. So for everyday riders, that 750 watt rule remains the line you can't legally cross. Well, now let's clear some doubts. Because many riders wonder if they can tweak their e-bikes for extra power. Technically, the answer is yes, you can. But legally, there are some problems. The moment your motor goes beyond 750 watts, it's no longer an e-bike in California. You can't just relabel it and ride freely. If you get stopped or involved in an accident, those modifications can easily get noticed. Another common question is about using bike paths with more powerful e-bikes. Unfortunately, that's a no-go. Anything over 750 watts is treated like a motorcycle or moped, meaning it belongs on the road, not on bike trails. And once you cross that limit, you'll also need an M1 or M2 motorcycle license, plus registration and insurance. At the end of the day, these laws aren't meant to spoil the fun. They're there to keep riders and roads safe. The 750 watt limit is a fair balance. It gives you enough power for daily rides, climbs, and commutes without turning your e-bike into a motor vehicle. So before buying or modifying, always check your specs. Staying within the limit keeps you free from extra paperwork, legal issues, and stress. Thanks for watching. If you found this information helpful, leave a like for us. And if you're riding in California, surely leave a comment for us. See you at the next Law Breakdown.